So I I
Yeah,
really need the surgery really bad that I'm supposed to get.
this is
Yeah.
the void surgery on my hand. So, and today's one of my second day off. So,
Wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I had some bird poop on my main window.
oh
So I
no,
guess I'm going to have to get one of those extension window cleaners now to get outside there and clean it. What a pain.
Yeah.
right?
But,
Yeah, it is.
so I love the view though, and the trees are starting to turn right now. They look so pretty.
Right.
Yeah, I love fall too.
It's
Well,
gorgeous here. So,
it's nice to look at. I don't like the rainy, wet weather, but yeah. So what is this a pre-show for?
Well, originally Aaron used to go on at 7 with used to be Mike, Mark, and Aaron at 7. They used to do that religiously. They kind of they stopped doing it probably because of Mike wasn't feeling good for a while, and then now they all do their own thing. So we just kind of keep doing it, even though they usually somebody does go on at 7, and we usually do end at 7 because I have another show at 9. But that was the original,
plan.
yeah, and it worked for I don't know what 6 months maybe.
You know, yeah, things have been really changing on SPTV. There's been an explosion of new channels, which is exciting. Um, and I'm a small part of it. But I have noticed that the attacks have gotten nastier from the cult. Have you guys noticed that too?
I haven't been attacked
Um,
because I'm not part of Scientology.
I haven't been attacked either, although I just answered an email from Goldie, but
Hmm.
but uh, I haven't noticed anything. I have noticed some kind of strange things going on um, between some of the creators that I've kind
Yes,
of
I
wondered about.
think it looks to me like classic. Well, let's see. I've been out of the cult for a long time, so um, I struggle sometimes because my mind will think first in Scientologies, and then I go to try to transfer it into normal American speak, and then sometimes I remember right in the middle of it that I'm talking to a lot of former Scientologists, so then I just stumble all over the place. I didn't even know that I stuttered until I got started doing these. And that was I'm 65 years old. I should have known by now that I stutter, but I didn't. And so, wow, I had no idea. But I do have something to say about this because one of the main reasons that I decided to go ahead and jump on SPTV and start a channel was because, Aaron, Granddaddy Aaron, asked us
Hmm.
to.
Yep.
Hmm.
And it was because after the sentencing of Danny
Dave
Masterson,
Masterson. Hmm.
yeah, that, Aaron said that the attacks were coming from the church more. And at the time, I didn't see it, but after last weekend, between the thing that happened to our sweet Goldie and the argument that Mitch and
That was
Aaron
the
were having,
craziest.
Yeah, they didn't
yeah,
need to put that on TV.
I got the definite feeling that there's this uh, policy thing that uh, you learn it pretty early in Scientology, and it's called third party. And
Hmm.
at first,
Yep.
Yes.
what? Oh, you
Oh,
can't hear me?
Oh, no.
hi, Chloe.
So anyway, third party. is taught kind of early to all Scientologists, and it's originally kind of handed down as your friends are going to start third partying Scientology. And so it's presented as a way for you to, be strong and not let that divert you from Scientology. But third party, that sequence of events, you find out much later when you're more involved in Scientology that it can be used against people. And I have a feeling that
Uh-oh.
we have people. Who is that?
Steven?
Hey,
That's
Steve.
Steven Britton.
Steven.
Is that
Hey guys,
Steven?
that is
Boy, you're
me.
loud.
Oh,
Well,
sorry.
I've been really feeling like trolls or somebody has been purposely third partying, like this whole business with Aaron and Mitch really felt like somebody third partied, and the same thing with Goldie, and it's got a icky vibe to it, and
Yeah.
so what we really need to do right now is stay strong and stay united. I mean, we
Mhm.
know how sweet Goldie is,
Yeah.
and we know how sweet Mitch is. Obviously, Mitch had his feelings hurt, and
Yeah.
I don't think that Aaron really meant to hurt any
I don't think it
feelings,
either. Hmm.
but it was pretty obvious. And I just really think that they have been doubling down on SPTV to divide us,
Oh yeah.
and we
That
need
wouldn't
to
surprise me at all.
we need to
That would
really
not.
stand strong, and
They will not
just like
divide us.
they will not divide us. Yes, we need to
Mm-mm.
like give a finger to them. So
Mhm.
yeah, the funny
Read between
pointed
the
one.
lines,
Uh-huh.
Osa.
Yeah, yeah.
Turn it up.
So, but it could happen to any of us. They might try to
It
dig up
could.
dirt on us.
Mhm. And I probably have just as much as anybody else. We all have skeletons in our closet that we'd wish not to be brought out into the light of day. But come knocking at my door, Elsa. Go right ahead. I have 3 German Shepherds and a Navy SEAL husband. Okay,
Ooh,
you really
I'm
want to go
jealous
there?
because
Right.
I
Just
don't have
sorry,
any of
guys, I
that.
just want to do a quick mic check.
Okay, mic check.
We can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you good, Steve.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry about that.
Okay. I'm
that's okay.
I'm
Wow.
still under the radar woman, as you might say. And Scientology is a lot like Mormonism. If Scientology comes after me, though, I could call on the Mormon church and say, they're bothering me, take care of them. And Mormonism, the Mormon church will take care of me because
Mhm.
I'm technically one of them and still good
Right.
standing.
You're
Standing.
still in good standing?
Right.
Yeah.
Good.
Boy, Scientology
Yeah,
doesn't help us at all.
no. I mean, the thing that got me about going on with the thing with Mitch and Aaron yesterday was that they were arguing about semantics. I mean, yes, Mitch got his feelings hurt, but that kind of thing was best handled behind the scenes. It didn't need to be thrown out and made into a live production. And I don't know
Yeah,
whose idea that was, but
I agree.
it significantly reminded me of the very first time that Aaron and Mitch were together. Remember that very first stream they did together? There was a lot of anger and some antagonism and that kind of stuff. And I could write it off on Mitch. I love Mitch. Don't get me wrong. I do. I still adore him. But I could write it off as this is the first time he's done this. He's newly out. He's just not used to the forum. This time he should have known better. And to be quite honest, Aaron should have too and said, no, we're not going to do that on live stream. We're going to work this out and hash this out privately and then show a united front. Because to be quite honest, all of us our SPTV creators need to kind of act like parents in some way, especially to those who are not creating content and who are just kind of talking in the background. Because a lot of those people don't know anything. And parents, you may disagree in the bedroom over some action that was taken, but in front of the people, or kids is usually what I say, but in front of people, you need to show a united front. And that's important. So I don't understand why. I mean, I couldn't get through that whole thing. I finally turned it off and said, this is ridiculous. You know, it's this same thing over and over and over again. And east is east, west is west, and the trains aren't meeting, you know,
Well,
and that needed to be worked out.
I
You
want to
know,
say by the end of that live stream that they did, though, they had pretty much hashed the whole thing out, and everything was fine by the end of it. And you could tell that they were perfectly okay with each other. It was a disagreement between friends. That said, it is still something that should have been done face to face, just not live and on air for everyone in the world to see. Aaron justified it, or Aaron justified it by saying that he had 1,500 people watching it. But still, I don't agree. I think, that's, so what Mitch has his feelings hurt. We all get our feelings hurt from time to time. Adults could be adults about it and resolve it privately.
Yeah.
well, we're all adults here, and I think sometimes because we are different fractions. I mean, we are a real eclectic group here on SPTV because we have former cult members of all manner, not just Scientology. We have we have counselors that watch us, and they're learning from us so that they can deal with clients that freshly come out of various cults. And we have, of course, our first generation Scientologists like me. We have our second generation, third, I guess we even have fourth generation, which is mind boggling to me. People getting out, and feelings do get hurt sometimes. And also the process of leaving a cult, because Mitch is very, very much fresh from leaving still. I don't consider, it takes a good 5 years really before some of those wounds can get a scab over it. And and also Mitch really does come from a very unique perspective,
yeah,
because of his employment,
his access,
and his access specifically to Senior Miscavige. So not my favorite person. Not my favorite person. I think he single-handedly
destroyed,
ruined anything good that was ever in Scientology. So
was there anything good in Scientology?
Yeah,
probably were a few things.
Oh yeah, there has to be some stuff in there, or it never would have gotten,
where it was.
L. Ron Hubbard stole a lot of technology from a lot of different groups, and some of that stuff that's pre-clear, the earlier stuff, I still think has some value if it's done correctly, and if it's done with a good heart. And unfortunately, I think under the leadership of Senior Miscavige, they have, it's almost like he purposely tries to destroy anything good and anybody good. And he is doing exactly the opposite of what a good person, a good human would do. I mean, he's an awful evil person.
Yeah.
That's exactly why I feel like Rev Girl. He seems to have some issue in him where all he can do is destroy it, because it's like, there's no reason. Obviously, not that I believe in anything that sort of Scientology is, but I do believe the people that say that they got something good out of it, and sort of like the times like when Janice and that were in it, that sort of there was a camaraderie between people. Yeah, and it's just like everything now. I'm just like, what? Sort of, there is no morals to what he's doing. He's just trying to drive it into the ground, and for what? Like,
yes,
just like
I don't know. I mean,
no pleasure out of anything else. That's all I can see from it. There's just no
Yeah.
rhyme or reason for it. It's so
what could
bizarre.
be his possible reason? It's just
Well,
amazing.
I think he's in it for the money. It's all about the money for him. It's all about the
True.
money, and
Yeah,
it's
but I
all
don't see what
about the.
he's doing with the money. Like for him
Oh, he's
personally, other
buying
than
what,
buying
$200
property.
shirts or $400 shirts.
It's like he
or
just
whatever.
wants to spend it on whatever, and
Exactly.
For
not necessarily for
himself.
himself. It's
Yeah,
like
so
he wants to have like
evil.
gone on holidays and
I think
spent on like designer stuff, whereas
Yes, Stephen?
he's just buying
What's up,
property.
Steve?
It's bizarre.
What's up, Stephen? You were raising your hand. I thought maybe you had something that you wanted to add.
is using the Sea Org. Oops. Am I still on?
You are still on. You're just really, really broken up.
I still see Steve.
That was
I'm going to move my TV and my camera so that I can see you guys better.
That's fine.
I do have a question for Rafael.
I'm using my laptop so I can see everybody and look at the chat.
Yeah. Oh, now we lost you, Steve.
Oh, good job, Steve. Good job.
I hope he hasn't
We
crashed.
lost your camera.
Hang on. I'm still here.
Good.
I believe you.
Well, I just think it is once you
Anyway.
get settled. Go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me?
No, go ahead. Just take over from me.
Yes.
I
Question.
can hear you.
Girl.
Okay. What?
And I
I'm
wanted
in
to
the middle of nowhere, so that's what's going on.
Gotcha.
Because I can see the positivities in the beginning of Scientology. Like you said.
Yeah.
But does it need to be under a religion?
No.
No.
Not at all.
No.
That I wanted your perspective on that.
Who?
I
wanted your Rev. I wanted your yeah.
Well, when I was first invited to Scientology when I was 14, I was told it was called the Scientology Center, and I didn't find out it was a religion until later. And some of the business fronts that teach you how to conduct business better or conduct life better.
Yeah.
There are things in Scientology that are really useful, especially for people that are shy or they have a stutter and they're shy because of it, or maybe they're what's that term for neurotypical, or is it neurotypical?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it can be really powerful, I believe, to help people like that.
Neuroatypical.
Yeah, neuroatypical. But it has to be used properly. And in my opinion, ever since David Miscavige took over after LRH died, he just twisted everything. And even the good stuff has been twisted, and the good people, he demotes the good people, and then also people underneath him mimic him, and they all devote the people that come into it with a heart, and then they promote the people that are icky. And it's so unbelievably, the whole thing is so different than when I was in. And I don't blame the second and
I think
third and fourth
it,
generations for hating it because it's so twisted.
It's not
now.
the same. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Totally. Totally.
yeah, I think all that yelling and everything that goes on comes from the basic TRs. Like, what's the TR where you get the person to look at the wall, look at the hand, look at the floor, and you say thank you every time? Which TR is that? Is that
What's
TR
it
2?
called? No, that's later. That's after TR4. I think it's around TR6 or so. That, and it's not done by just anyone. That's usually done by auditors. But I do understand what you, because TR3 and TR4 are the ones where you get your message across no matter what. And you keep directing the conversation the way you want it to be. And those are the two ones that really make Scientologists look like fanatics because they won't hear anything else. They keep wanting to have control of the conversation. And those are done by every Scientologist. So when you see all the celebrities that demand to take the conversation and lead it to their way, and they use almost the exact pattern, is because they've been trained on it. All Scientologists have been trained on it, and it really has nothing to do with. It's frankly obnoxious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Scientologists are taught to be
Yeah.
obnoxious.
I was annoying my daughter with that yesterday.
Bet you that
It's
went
very
well.
annoying.
I started telling my daughter, look at that wall. And she would look at the wall. Thank you. Look at my hand. She looks at my hand. Thank you.
Locational.
She's like,
That's
will
what
you
it's
stop?
called. Locational.
No.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, and
No.
I was just being
locational.
silly, but I was having fun with it.
Well, it can be a game, but where it gets abused is when, first of all, in my opinion, second and third generations, they have been forced to do sessions against their will, and
I'm going to drop
that
out
is
again, I think.
huge. Is that Steve going away?
Yeah.
Anytime that someone is forced to do something against their will, they're not going to have any good come from it. Nobody. That's just humanity 101. That's like treating somebody else like a lesser or a slave or something. And so no wonder that so many of these younger generation Scientologists absolutely hate auditing. I don't blame them at all. They've never had a real positive experience with it. Whereas I have done that. I have done that with people. I've had people, that had shy issues, things like that, and I've helped them. So there's, if it's done with a heart and if it's done right, it can be very positive. But right now, what they're doing is pretty much all negative.
Because
So
I'm still here.
I can see that
Very good.
positive and helping people speak and speak with confidence, and
yeah,
all of those things I think are great skills for people to just have, to function in the world.
yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's better ways to do it than being coerced into, sort of that's your dang art as such,
I mean, the idea of communication and being able to get your point across was the main thing that attracted me when I almost got in, because there was no communication between my mother and myself, and I thought, my God, at least if we could communicate, if one of us could frickin' communicate, then this would be so much better. And
Yes.
so that was the draw for me. And fortunately, I was broke, and I didn't think that they were going to take somebody who was totally broke. Now I have since found out that is wrong, and that I lucked out. But
yeah, because they would have made you a slave.
Yeah, because the Scientology communication course is is not really made for communication. It's more for commanding and controlling and being in charge while simultaneously being used to be controlled.
Well, that's the way it is
So
now.
it's not, I mean, communication is an exchange where two people listen. It's not you telling
and
like
yes,
I'm
and
doing now.
that is what's in the course if it's applied correctly. But I contend that it's not being applied correctly, and it hasn't been for decades now.
Yeah.
No, but I mean,
there's
Hubbard.
supposed to be.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Hubbard's intention was never to really help people. He wanted to help. Well, we know because of his psychology, for one. For another, we know from his what's it? What are they called? Like self-affirmation.
Like his lectures.
Not his lectures, but and I know they are published. It's a list of like commands that you are supposed to repeat to yourself. It's things like, oh, there's women love you, your penis is grandiose,
we don't have
and there's nothing wrong with your feet. Sorry?
Were you in Scientology?
No, but I have intensely
there's
studied.
no affirmations in Scientology.
No, there are no affirmations in Scientology. But what I'm saying is Hubbard himself had affirmations.
How do you know?
I'm not saying
were you in his head? Were you in his head?
No, but they are published. They are published. They are out there.
They're published by other people who observed things, and that's the conclusion.
No, they are
that
written by him. It's written by him.
I beg to differ. I spent 12 years in Scientology.
Yeah, it's not part of Scientology. I'm not saying it's part of any course you are taking in Scientology. These are Hubbard's personal affirmations.
Are you talking about like his military stuff and all the things that he supposedly did, that he was a rocket scientist and that he was this and he was that and so on and so forth? That made him feel more grandiose?
No. That's another part of his history. No, I'm saying these are. I'm sorry. The words in English fail me a bit. So
it's okay if we don't disagree. It's
of course.
It's nothing personal. Yeah.
I'm just saying it's not part of Scientology. It's not in any lecture or any course. So these are Hubbard's personal notes about himself and his they are self-affirmations,
like a journaling type of thing, like a daily journaling.
Yeah, that sort of thing. But it's meant to, you are meant to repeat these things to yourself, and they are meant to,
until you believe it.
And by believing it, they are realized. That's the idea. I mean, it's an occult thing, for one.
Well, I mean, we can do those kind of things to ourselves. I'm a perfect example of that. Because my childhood under my narcissistic abuser was very difficult, and as a result, I came up with a story of a whole life that never happened, but has become more real to me. And I have to be very careful when people start talking about stuff and they're talking about things they've done, that I don't throw in this false narrative that I've come to believe more than what actually happened. So, sometimes it is a coping mechanism or a defense mechanism, which is what I think is, in my case, that's what it is. And sometimes it is a case of, I don't feel like I've done like what I should, so therefore I'm going to make up or have these things that I'm going to continue to tell myself until I believe them, to make myself feel better about me. And so there's two ways of looking at that. But yes, I'm one of those who used it as a coping mechanism to deal with the things that went on in my life that were abusive.
It's almost like you create your own filler.
Yes, create my own world. And when I was a kid and when I was younger, when this was happening, that was an escape. I escaped into that world of make-believe. And as you get out of those situations and move on, that escape becomes a narrative, and that narrative becomes fact in your mind. So
it's like a memory you're carrying all the way. Right?
Exactly. And, and like I said, to this day, I have to be very careful. And I will catch myself occasionally. Sometimes I won't, but on occasion, I will catch myself telling that narrative and not the real story. Because like I said,
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at you. I'm seeing the kitty, and it makes me so happy.
But the thing about it is that you have to be aware that's what you're doing. And when that story comes out, I'm unaware. It's there, and then once it's out, I can't take it back. I can't say, "Oh no, wait, that's the false narrative," because
but can't you?
Why can't I? Because then I look like a liar.
Yeah, of course, but I understand why you feel that way and why it's hard. Of course, I'm just saying, in a way. Of course, it's based on people being open-minded and sympathetic and empathetic, and also understanding of the psychology of abuse. But to me, what you are telling me now, maybe because I don't have that particular coping mechanism, but similar background. So to me, you are just becoming a more dimensional human. But of course, that's me, and as I said, I fully understand why you feel it's not okay to take it back.
Can I say something?
Of course.
Because I think that, once we realize that we're doing that, which takes a long time to even be able to acknowledge that we've created these false memories that have become a part of our lifetime narrative, right? So it's like once you start to realize that that's what you're doing, one, I think it's difficult to catch that you're doing it. Like when you're saying, it almost just rolls off your tongue. It's always. And then sometimes it may take a moment to realize this feels the wrong narrative. But more that you recognize that you do that. Once you can even recognize, oh, I think it's false narrative. And I need to work to change it, which you're doing. You're already doing, and that's part of. And eventually, she'll get to where a false narrative doesn't work. Or I've had that in my case. You know what I mean? Where it's just now we're back to the thing, but it's processing.
Okay.
You know, and even sometimes when that false narrative comes out, and then to like correct yourself and say, oh crap, this is, then you have to share the whole trauma, the whole story,
Yeah.
like that's the whole.
And sometimes you don't want to.
Of
Right.
course,
You,
of course.
you're not in a place to share that narrative, or that oh gee whiz, I'm sorry, this is the wrong. Let me tell you the truth this time, because that's a product of abuse. You know, and the thing about it is, and I saw a comment that's easier to tell the truth. Yes, it is, because that's the truth, and there's hardly any change in the story. But when you're talking about someone, like in my case, who has created this false narrative, and has studied the things behind it, so it is very hard. It's almost impossible, short of I was there and you weren't.
Truth. It is
to catch me. Yeah, to catch me on that false narrative or that lie, because I can tell it all has to do with showing horses, okay? And I can tell you who was on the team, when it was, where we were, where they were at the time, all of that, because I've studied it, because I know it. It's something that I've known. So there's been a lot of effort put into that false narrative as well, to make it very difficult to catch me at it.
Yeah.
You know, now that you guys know it has to do with horses. Yes, I used to show horses as a kid, but not at the level that I will say I did. Okay, never at that level. But
do you know what? I don't care. I like you either way. I think you're wonderful.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. You know, and that's the sad thing about it, is that these days it doesn't matter why I would carry on that false narrative. That doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't need to be there. It's just, and it's not, and when it comes out now, it's not because I'm trying to cope or trying to hide or moving into that safe place, right? It's because it's become so much of a habit, that it's
More
what
than you.
comes out first. Yeah.
Definitely.
So, you know, that's the situation. But you know, and taking that back to what's going on, you know, in Sea Org and in Scientology, there may be some of exactly that kind of thing going on. You know, they had a worse life out in the real world coming in, or that's all they've ever known, and so they come up with ways to cope with the fact that they are actually being abused. And so they, you know, it's not as bad as you think it is. It's, you know, to justify why they're still there, or why they haven't said, fuck this shit, I'm out of here. You know?
Oh my God, there could be thousands
Yeah, because it
of
goes back to that thing of no one joins a cult. You know, so it's like once people start telling them they're in a cult, then obviously, you know, they're gonna have their back up and be like, no, it's, you know, it's great. As sort of Alex and such have said, how great they were told it was when they were pushing back, and then sort of a year later it was then them pushing back against other people. It's just this ever cycle, and then the more you're in it.
Yeah, you know, and the people that are out there selling it and have been selling it for years are doing the same thing. They're making that false narrative where they're forgetting the abuses they've suffered, and they're making it all hunky dory and sunshine and roses. You know,
because you have to survive. You have to protect the self.
Right.
So
yeah. You know, and I don't know, Reb, did you find some of that in your experiences?
It's a lot. Scientology is very complicated. Not everyone in it is abused.
Right.
The public Scientologists normally are not, or it's very subtle. And
Mhm.
much like the frog in the pot, and then the water gets hotter and hotter,
Mhm.
that's really what happens. And the deeper you get into Scientology, if you join staff or if you join the Sea Org, you're going to see stuff and possibly experience things that later you realize were abusive. But it can
Mhm.
take years, decades.
Mhm. Oh
And
yeah.
not everybody is like that. And then there's different, depending on the job that you have. For instance, if you're in sales, like Apostle Alex
Mhm.
was,
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
if your job is to sell the courses and the counseling, you're going to be using,
What
you're
it
going to be
takes.
a lot more callous. You're going to be using that
Mhm.
big league sales technology. You're going to
Mhm.
be tag teaming with other salespeople to get the maximum sales. But
Mhm.
if you're a counselor, you come at it from a completely different viewpoint.
Mhm.
If you're in treasury, you're going to have more of a, treasury viewpoint. So every experience in Scientology is different.
Mhm. Yeah.
I have, over the 12 years that I was in it, I was in the Sea Org for part of it, and I was a public for most of it, and I
Mhm.
was a counselor for part of it. So I have the different perspectives.
Right.
I was never a salesperson in Scientology, so I never did those kind of drills where you practice to bulldoze people and demand them to max out their credit cards and things.
Mhm.
In fact,
Mhm.
I personally always felt like the prices were stupid expensive and unnecessary. But
Yeah.
then I got in trouble for that too, because I was told that I was off purpose or whatever.
Mhm.
And it's one of the many things that eventually drove me out.
Right.
That, and then
Yeah.
I did observe families being broken up, but I didn't see that in the beginning. It took years for me to see all the negative, and then it
Yeah.
was getting worse too, because things dramatically started getting worse when L. Ron Hubbard became ill, and then
Mhm.
when he died. And
Mhm.
David Mustafa's was starting to take over before he died
Yeah.
too. And
Yeah.
it's mind-boggling to me how much power he grabbed, how he got
Mhm.
away with it. And,
Yeah.
he just really needs to go, in my opinion. And then,
Oh well, there's no doubt.
yeah, I would like to see that a governing body. First of all, I'd like to see an amnesty for all former Scientologists, period.
Mhm.
And then I'd like to see a mix of former and current Scientologists to redirect the Church of Scientology and its massive assets to
Right.
actually doing some good, like creating
Yeah.
homeless shelters,
Well, they have the buildings. It's not like they
kitchens.
don't have them, right?
Yes, yes. And they
That's a
should
good
be
idea.
using those for soup kitchens, and
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
right now there's no way that they're going to achieve their goals of clearing the planet. But I think that they could reach a consensus that getting people to that first level of the Maslow hierarchy of needs, which is very similar to what Scientology calls getting their roots in,
Mhm.
which includes a full belly, housing, not having to worry about keeping your electricity
Mhm.
on, the basics. If we could just help people get to the basics. And then if
Well,
they
yeah.
choose to do something else with the church, like maybe create a really good drug rehab.
I was going there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and some really good mental health, which in my opinion, we could go a long way helping mentally ill people just have a safe environment somewhere. And we've got those beautiful buildings with all those floors, and why not? You know, let's actually use those resources for something positive. And then, you know, they might actually earn their tax-free status, but they currently do not deserve it at this point in time.
No. I agree with you. And I agree. I mean, the things that could be done with all of those buildings that they have, to truly help, and the money. Yeah. I mean, to truly help, it would just be amazing, and it would because right now in the eyes of the public, not public Scientologists, but the public, okay, people like me and some of the rest of us, is that this is a crazy bunch of weirdos who go in for abuse. I mean, that's been it. I mean, I've heard more now and I've learned more, but coming into it, it was like, Jesus Christ, those bunch of weirdos up there with all that money and all those buildings that are totally empty. What the hell? And it would, to be able to take those assets that they have and actually turn them towards doing good things for the communities, would do so much to change the view of the general public as to what they do and how they are. I mean, I don't think we'd be saying crazy ones anymore.
Yes, and then can you imagine if other cults that have resources, such as the Mormons, what if they got into a contest against doing good with their assets too, and started feeding people and helping them with job resumes and providing jobs for people that are entry level to help them get skills and I mean, and then just also just having like groups that they can attend so they're not lonely and they don't need other substances like drugs and alcohol. You know, if we could just, I would love to invite everyone to envision a better world and to have all of these cults and religions start actually doing what they say they're going to do in the beginning.
Yeah, they're all that way.
Yeah,
they're all that way in one form or another. And the thing that annoys me the most about a lot of religions, and this may upset people, and I'm sorry in advance, I'll preface that, but they are so antagonistic towards other sects within the same religion,
or just anybody. They're jealous of
it's like I can remember I was raised in the Christian church somewhat. I mean, we weren't very religious, but if you didn't get dunked, you weren't going to heaven. And then there's the Catholics who said, well, if we didn't sprinkle water on you when you were a baby, you're not going to heaven. And the next one and the next one and the next one, it's like everybody's so exclusive. It's got to be done this way or you're in trouble. Exactly. And who cares if I blew bubbles or if I had sprinkles on my head? I don't care.
Or if the Southern Baptist damn near drowned you.
Exactly. That's what I meant by blue bubbles. But and the other side of that is I've never understood how they can justify saying that if you're not baptized as a baby, you're not going to heaven. What the hell did that baby do? He's probably going there before I am. I mean, that's the innocent. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I'll tell you something interesting that's come up recently for me. So, I won't sort of say much about her, but I think if you heard my interview with Marilyn, I think I said a bit about her on there. Hello, Temper Me Man. That my niece was, when she was about sort of 3 months, well, when she was 6 months, she had a bone marrow transplant because when she was 3 months, they found out that she had lost all of her white blood cells. And then later it came to be understood that it was a genetic thing on my brother-in-law's side. Anyway, I went for a dinner recently for a friend's birthday, and this couple came with their baby, really sweet, like 18-month-old or something. And the husband said to me, because I'd been saying about my niece, having a niece anyway, and he was like, sort of, I can't remember how we got onto it now, but I think I did end up saying that like she had to have this bone marrow transplant and everything because my sister's pregnant again, so I was sort of going into all that with her IVF stuff. And he said, because they're from Portugal, and obviously everyone thinks of like England as being very religious, but like it really isn't from sort of compared to like other places in the world. So,
Britain
and as much
isn't
as
very religious.
Sorry?
Britain isn't very religious.
No, that's what I mean.
That's what she was saying.
Everyone thinks it is. Anyway, so when I was like little, like we used to go to church, but like I've never thought of myself as being religious. And anyway, he turned around and said, "What did you like? Are your parents religious or something like that, or is your family religious?" And I was like, "Oh no," and he was like, "Oh, so like no one said that, it was sort of like something down from God that like that's like why the baby was, sort of ill." And I'm like, no, like how many I've just told you, like no one in my family is religious. My brother-in-law's nan is very, and she was quite put off that my sister wasn't going to baptize the baby, but that was obviously before this came out. But he was really going on about it, and like they're like Portuguese, like I say. So I think religion is a fairly big thing over there. But I didn't go in to ask them if they were religious. But I was just like, wow, like
It's
why is that like the first thing you're
I'm
going at?
sorry, that's
And like
so
just
fucked
kept going
up.
on about it.
That's the you know,
it's just crazy.
Talk about forcing your beliefs on someone else.
Yeah,
Oh well,
exactly.
Yeah,
And I'm just like,
blaming
fair
them
enough
for
if I
something
came out and
horrible
said
that
it, but I
happened to
was
their
like,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
on like this
Yeah.
situation, like,
blame the
and it
parents
just like totally like
for the
triggered me
illness.
all like
That's
the Scientology
yeah.
things of like, sort of oh, like you've pulled it in, and I was like, for God's
Yeah.
sakes.
Well, I think there's an element in a lot of religions that do the same thing. They don't call it pull it in. They just blame the parents or whoever because they didn't follow the edicts of that particular religion. And yeah, so I mean, Scientology is not doesn't have the patent on, blame the victims.
No, certainly
I think
not.
I think there in some respects all religions tend to have that. They will hide it. Some are better at hiding it than others, but they still all have, in certain sects of each individual religion, they all have that same ideology, is that, well, the reason that this bad thing happened to you is because you pulled it in. What did you do to cause that type thing? And it's like, no, stuff happens, life is life.
I think that comes partly, at least, from if you have a belief in some higher power that is ultimately good and all loving and all of that, then when bad things happen, it must be someone's fault. We in general, people, including myself, of course, have a hard time accepting that sometimes shit just happens. So we want a reason, and the reason can't be this benevolent higher power, because then how could they be benevolent?
Yeah, how do
So
you justify the
exactly? So I think it's very easy to fall into this victim blaming, partly because of that. And it's
Sure.
I don't know.
And I think
I see a lot of harm
to fall into that, right? I
Well,
mean,
Sorry?
I see that Witness has asked a question. Says,
Yeah.
yo, how long
I don't
has
have the
women had the right to vote, and how long is history? And obviously, we know that women have not had the right to vote throughout most of history. In the United States, what is it been 100 years, maybe 125? I don't know for sure.
something like that.
But and I know right now we're kind of probably at risk of losing our vote, if anything. One thing that while you were discussing all the churches and stuff is, in my opinion, I think that churches, when people were mostly peasants, churches were developed for community, but also to control the peasants from revolting and keep order.
Very possibly.
And now we have, at least in the United States, a better quality of life. And we're still needing that community. But, things like your life sucks, therefore you need to keep being a good citizen and doing your job so that you can go to this wonderful afterlife called heaven. Or in the case of
Valhalla or
Scientology, you can be a slave this lifetime for the greater good because you're going to have another lifetime. And it's, so we got this big job to do. So what I think is, we need to concentrate on the here and now. And my life may be okay. I've got enough food, but I see my neighbors living in tents and hurting, and they're cold and they're wet. I propose that we create communities and use our old buildings like churches and like VFW halls and, just all of these empty buildings, and change it in concert with the government and in concert with social services that know what they're supposedly trained to do, to create centers where the actually will help people. I mean,
I think somebody has some feedback. If everyone could check their.
I have a question.
Oh, that's okay. Whoever it is.
What is VFW?
Oh, Veterans of Foreign Wars. There's a lot of buildings here in the United States that are empty that veterans originally started 50 years ago. And frankly, they kind of stink because they sit around empty most of the time. But they're really nice big buildings that it would be wonderful if we could turn them into soup kitchens and social service people working there to help people in the neighborhood, instead of having these damn buildings empty, just like the churches. Why not these big parking lots for churches? Why not put the tents there, and people who are living in cars, and have people protect those people? Like, there's so many homeless women. Why not have them in a parking lot with
veterans
access to a bathroom and laundry
and
services?
veterans
and
are there's a lot of veterans in the same boat.
Yes.
Yes.
And there's a lot of veterans that are home alone.
Oh God. Yes.
And they could provide security to the single women living in the parking lot in their cars and in tents. I mean, why don't we actually do something good with the resources available? I would like to see a human positive services revolution in the world to actually help our neighbors.
I would agree.
With the resources we have. Why do we have so many damn buildings empty?
Well, I mean, and the other side of that, it's not just women and children. I mean, the veterans in this country are treated incredibly badly.
Yes, they are.
You know,
so why not let them be part of the solution?
Yeah.
They have the training, just like, they're trained to protect. So let's use their own facilities to help people and protect them. Why not? They have the skill set. And if they're really old, well, let them just work 2 hours. It could be a social thing, and an honoring thing.
Well, that's what we're talking about is a social. Yeah, you do have to be cautious. We're talking about a social revolution is basically what you're proposing.
Okay.
And getting that, maybe, I mean, there are so many, and I'm not going to put to one party or another or a central. I'm not going to go there. But there's so many apathetic, what I call apathetic voters, who they can't be bothered. It's like, my life is good now. I'm happy where I'm at. I'm not going to worry about it. Okay. And then there's the group of people who are like, well, it's 2 heads on the same snake, and it doesn't matter who you vote for or who you support. It's the same thing. It's the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. So you have those people, and getting them motivated. Yeah, to get them motivated to do anything that is outside of their immediate personal space to make life better is like pulling teeth from a chicken,
Yeah, people are in such this mindset still of like, oh, what can I do? And it's like, because you are one of like so many millions of people that will actually make a difference. Like they don't see themselves beyond themselves, and it's like it takes one person, as a collective.
I would like to be that one person, and I want to I want to get an army of people to see what I see and to envision what I envision. We could use these empty buildings to actually help people. Everybody that lives on the
I might be over the pond, but I'm totally behind you on that. So
every one of those people is somebody's child or brother or cousin
sister or parent. Or
Stephen wants to say something. Let's
Yes, Stephen.
Well, here in Canada, we've had an interesting kerfuffle, because I love that word, kerfuffle. Because the government, a certain individual who was I'm not going to name names because I don't want to make this about one political party over another, but a person who was elected to the position of prime minister in 2015 was going to repurpose a whole bunch of unused federal buildings for homeless shelters and places for homeless people to live in, low-income housing and such. And in what year is it now? 2023. So you can do the math. I think it's 8 years later. The total number of spaces converted from federal buildings to low-income housing, they could have had thousands, 13. And this is what drives apathy, because I think it doesn't matter what political party they're affiliated with. Politicians talk big game and then give nothing. And it's a case of politicians acting like politicians. I'm not apathetic. I'm cynical.
Okay, that's a good word.
I get that.
I'm not cynical. I'm not apathetic. I'm pissed. I'm
all of it. I'm all of it.
And I want not only government buildings. We have there's a huge building that used to be a sheriff's office, and it's sitting empty, and they have a big ass fence around it in my neighborhood. And it's they talked about making it into a homeless shelter. Well, they found out it's full of asbestos, so they can't. So, but there's this huge parking lot around it. So they thought, Well, let's let people live in the parking lot so they'll have a safe place. But will they do it? No. And it's still sitting there empty. It's still sitting there with that damn asbestos. Nobody's tearing it down.
Mm-hmm.
As a
Tearing it
taxpayer, I
down is
live it.
dangerous. Tearing
Yeah.
it down
Yes,
would be
but what else are we? What do we
That's
do? You know, we can't
To- to-
let it sit there forever.
Yeah.
Oh, it'll
Well,
fall
as long
down,
as
but
asbestos is not disturbed, it's fine. The moment you
Mhm.
disturb the stuff, that's when it becomes dangerous. I've had to
Yeah,
deal
but they
with
can still
asbestos
use the
abatement
car
recently.
park.
yeah. I mean,
Well,
well,
yeah.
If it had been private property, they would have done it already. It's a
yeah.
valuable piece of property.
The problem is that not only do you have politicians who promise the moon to get elected and then forget their promises, you have the
Get lost in
people
the
in the
mail.
neighborhoods where these things are that basically say, not in my neighborhood. I don't want those miscreants and thugs in my
Oh, the
neighborhood.
NIMBYs.
It's true. It's true.
You know, so you're stuck in a vicious circle of, okay, so we have this building in your neighborhood. Is it better for it to sit there and let the drug addicts use it and squatters and all that other stuff that brings in the very people that you are claiming that you don't want in your neighborhood? You know, or do you make it nice and turn those people's lives around? That is the question. And again, we come into, that's a lot of work. Who's going to do it? Not me. I don't want to be around those people. It's just, it builds upon each other, and the people have lost. I mean, back in Depression era, some people didn't, but I mean, a lot of people helped people. You know, you don't see that these days. It's few and far between that you find somebody who's actually willing to get out there and get their hands dirty and help.
These are all short-term solutions, and I'm all for them. You've also got to address the longer-term issues as well. Hello to whoever dropped in. Is that
Hi,
Poet?
Brian.
Yes.
Yes. Hey,
Yeah, I've
Steve.
got very
Hi,
small
Brian.
screen here.
You're forgiven.
The short-term solution
Hi,
are the
everybody.
shelters, the whatever, but you've got to deal with the long-term solutions. You've got to deal with prevention. How do you stop
Yes.
the cycle? And second of all, when a person is deep into the
Thank you.
drugs,
Yes.
the heroin, the whatever, you've got to get them off and keep them off. Because as long as you've got the, I'm going to call it the drop-in
The
center
money.
because that's what Calgary has. You've got the drop-in center, and that's fine. You go, you get a hot meal, a nice place to sleep for the night, if you're lucky enough to get in time. But then you're out in the street the next day, and back to the same thing all over again. And there's got to be,
That's why
what is it?
we have to
rehab
provide,
centers and stuff.
but without
Go
the
ahead,
Maslow
Jane.
hierarchy of needs,
I was
you
going to say,
can't do anything.
I've been homeless as a
There we
child
go.
and as an adult. I know for a fact, given the right circumstances and given the proper help, people can get out of homelessness.
I've seen it
agree.
happen.
Yes, I agree.
I am
Yeah.
an example of that happening.
But it takes will.
Very
It
good.
takes a will.
And a
Yeah.
willingness on the part of the person too.
On both
It
sides.
takes the will of all of us.
Yeah,
We have
It
to
takes a lot of
demand
work.
it.
It does take a lot of work, and
Yeah.
I'm kind of angry for the people that don't got the help, and I'm also angry for those who are willing to help and get taken advantage of. I've been on both sides.
I have to. Yeah,
And it does-
yeah, it's not, you can't just give them a place to live and 3 squares a day and think that you're fixing
No.
what's going on.
No,
You
absolutely.
That is
Yeah.
a start. You have
That's
to
a
start
start.
somewhere.
But
Yeah, it's
but
gotta
you
start
also
somewhere.
have to treat or address the underlying issue that got them there.
I
Whatever
agree.
that is.
Yeah.
You know.
I agree
So-
100%. But leaving them out on the streets, cold and
It's not a
hungry,
solution.
that
that's
is
not a
not a
solution.
solution.
No, it's not.
No.
Well,
And
the
it
solution-
has to change one way or another.
Well, the solution is easy. It's simple. It's the logistics that's hard. Okay, and that costs money.
Money.
And
Yeah.
we have
And
groups
the
like the Church of Scientology
and
with
the
a
people
lot of money
and the
just
people,
sitting there.
but the people,
That's what I'm saying.
the
You know,
people,
and they're not the
yeah,
only ones.
but the
I put
people,
in the chat just recently how many homeless people could be housed in the empty Scientology buildings.
A lot.
Oh my
yeah,
God,
and,
a lot.
All right, go. Poet wants to say something. Sorry, Brian.
and well, it comes like I said, it comes down to money, right? And the people who have the money are the type of people who don't want to give it away, right?
Yes.
I don't
See,
agree
How
there.
much is too
No,
much? How much is
yeah,
too
yeah,
much?
well, I don't know. They're the ones giving it to Scientology, are they not?
yeah. They
Well,
They're
don't.
not giving it
Yeah,
away.
But you know, really,
as
I mean,
as a general rule of
do
thumb,
the
I'm
people
talking.
in Scientology know that their money is just sitting there and going to $200, $400 shirts for David Miscavige? No,
Probably not.
I don't think they
No.
know. I
No, exactly,
think
because they think they're
that
getting some higher power from it.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we really did get Scientology to do a full amnesty and a group of Scientologists and other caring individuals got together and with using democracy,
Mm-hmm.
I really do think that they would vote
Yeah,
to use
yeah,
the money and resources in a much more positive way,
and
because people don't sign their lives away for stuff like that unless they're caring and they want to help people. They really don't.
well, and you touch on a really
well, the problem with
another.
Scientology.
Yeah, Rev Girl, you touched on another part of the problem. It's called political will. Okay, it not only takes money and resources, it also takes political will to drive the change. And once you get that going, the ball gets rolling, and us and the X's, causing a stink, getting loud, and are coming together and screaming, and us being their megaphone is something that can spark that. So
I think so.
and
I think so.
I feel the momentum building. There's just something in the air, just building, and it could go one way or the other. It could be a freaking train wreck, or it could be end up becoming a train wreck, or it could be a success. And I on the side of it becoming a smashing success. So that's my hope.
My
Can I
hope
just
is
interrupt?
that
Sorry,
can
Poet.
I just throw in something? Serge Delmar
It's all right. I was just
mentioned
going to
in one
say
of
something from the chat.
his videos that there was a website where anybody can go, and it's run by the Church of Scientology, and you can write a Scientology tool called a knowledge report. And if I made a video, a tutorial on how to do it, I actually made two. One's a little better than the other. First one, I stutter and a few things like that. But the second one, I'm pretty proud of it, to be honest with you. Anyone, non-Scientologist, anyone can go to this website. It's called RTC, and look at my tutorial. Anybody can do it. Everybody who watches SPTV, every single one of us that has learned about something that they don't like in the Church of Scientology can write one of these. We could flood them. And I encourage content providers to share their knowledge report, because I want the whole world to see these. I want to cause a revolution, and I want it to start right here. He has ethics protection because he lies about his statistics. He lies about his statistics. He does not have ethics protection. David Miscavige is guilty of changing the technology. He has changed L. Ron Hubbard's words. He has committed so many sins, and I'm not even talking about him beating executives and throwing them in the hole. That man is so off purpose with his vanity projects, which is totally against L. Ron Hubbard's technology. L. Ron Hubbard said to push services. And L. Ron Hubbard, if he were alive today, he would, if he were alive and still sane, because I'm pretty sure he lost his sanity well before he lost his life. He would agree with me. Yes.
Mhm.
But when he was in his peak, he would agree with me. We have to help get planet Earth's roots in, because we can't do a damn thing without their roots being in. And what I'm talking about is the Maslow hierarchy of needs, which even the psychiatric world agrees has to happen. You cannot help people that are hungry. You cannot help people who are dying on the streets because they're addicted to trank. You can't help people that are so sucked in with their problems. If they can't pay their rent and their utilities, you can't help them. So if we just started helping people meet the basics, then maybe people will vote better. Maybe people would start caring more and not be so apathetic. It's just right now the problem seems so overwhelmingly big, but there are organizations. Scientology is not the only one with big empty buildings. Pretty much all religions, except a few of the mega ones, are sitting with huge assets and large amounts of money. And I just propose that we actually use them to help people.
You mean Saskatchewan, or how the hell does Claire say it?
Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan.
Yeah. No, I just crossed the province's line. I'm now in a new province.
Nice.
Be careful while driving.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's safer than typing in the chat.
There was just someone put something in the chat that I really wanted to share.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
What is it?
I know I can't see where it is. So Alex Parker put that the Scientology channel is doing a live promo as we speak.
I saw that.
So he said that SPTV must have them scared.
And they should be scared. They should be scared. This nation, this platform is growing faster than anything I've seen in a long time. In a long time.
Yep.
I want to say something about what SPTV is doing. Sorry. The biggest thing that SPTV is doing, I think, is keeping OSA busy. And the more SPTV there is, the more put off their butts they're going to be. So we're running interference.
Well,
yeah.
Oh, I got something to show. I got something to show y'all guys.
Go ahead, poet.
Oh, whoa.
Author copies.
Oh,
author copies.
Yes. Congratulations, poet.
So I only had a limited amount of funds to buy limited numbers. Some of them are earmarked for certain people, but I'm going to probably sell about 5 of them autographed.
Nice.
So buy me 4 coffees. So that's $20. But I got to restrict it to the United States, the 50 states, because of mailing issues. Like,
no, I get that. I forego getting my daily dose.
Don't worry, I will be. Yeah, I will be remedying that as soon as I am able to. Like, I owe Simon some haikus he bought off me back in the summertime. I haven't been able to get to the freaking post office where I can send internationally. I can't do it here because they don't have the electronic system and blah blah blah. I'm gonna have to figure that out. So if 5 people out there watching this buy me a coffee, I'll put a thing on my Facebook. I'm not
put it in the private chat, Poe, and I'll put it on my channel.
Okie dokie, let me do that right quick.
When you can.
No,
I quick. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But yeah,
I was going to say I saw a comment.
Okay.
Hey, fine. Look what I got.
Cool. Thank you.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
a bunch of people got this one before I did because all I had was my first proofs, which had a few mistakes in it, and the font is really tiny in this, right? But
Yeah.
Is
in
that
the
through
new,
Amazon?
yeah, it's all through
Yeah.
Amazon. Yeah, right now because of resources and other things, that's what I'm doing this exclusively from.
Mhm.
And you can see now that, like in my introduction here, the font's a lot bigger, right? And if you'll let me, I want to read something.
Before I lose it, can we address
ahead.
Alex Parker's
Yeah.
comment? Says, I'm in Kentucky with no real aftermath help from here, but I will if needed. They need people everywhere. There's probably somebody in Sea Org that comes from Kentucky that can probably use your help when
Yeah.
they get ready to leave.
And
So,
Ohio is just right up the
yeah.
road.
Yeah, the Cincinnati org is right
Yeah.
across
Road.
the.
Yeah.
And
So,
sometimes these
yeah.
people that leave Scientology, sometimes they just need a friend. So,
Mhm. Someone to talk to.
don't think that you don't have anything to offer, because you certainly do.
Yeah.
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 So
Yeah, lots of people are saying hello to them in the chat. So
yeah.
so everyone's your friend here.
In the spirit of that, see this?
No, not really. It's blurry.
Blurry, but I
Oh,
can
put
make
your
it out.
I
hand,
can just see white.
put your hand up.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Well,
have the chat in front of it.
Okay. Well,
I actually was
it's
able to read it.
because she's got the copy. She got a copy of it. This is dedicated to my SPTV family. So when in the dedication, I dedicated it to all of you guys, and
Oh,
I
wow.
want to and I want to read the thank you section. Right, it's a little short. It goes. I've been racking my brain to try and figure out what to say here. I guess it's actually overwhelming. I want to thank everybody, but so many names come to mind that I'll probably forget to mention one or two, but I guess I'll have to go ahead and do it. So here goes. To my family and friends, I love you all. To my SPTV family, to whom this collection is dedicated, I thank you all. I want to especially thank Goldie, Jade Ice, Lady V, and Mrs. J for all the help they have given me. To the ex-Scientologists, without which this collection would have never been born, I want to express my utmost gratitude. You are all an inspiration. If I hadn't stumbled upon your channels, I would never have written this. I respect and admire you all. Leah Remini, Mike Rinder, Aaron Smith Levin, Mark and Claire Headley, Chris Shelton, Doug Kramer, Marcus Sawyer, Nora Ames, Catherine Olson, Liz Ferris, Liz Gale. The list goes on and on. Thank you all for telling me your stories.
Is Aaron
That's awesome.
Levin Smith in there?
I did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
You gotta change that. You gotta change it to Levin Smith.
Levin Smith, yeah.
Levin Smith.
How about
Hey,
Chris
Stu, I'm sorry.
Cardone?
so yeah. I that was the last part I wrote for it. If I know Joni, she's got it and everything, and whoever else is out there that has bought it, I really appreciate it. So far, I think I've sold like 19. At least that's what they told me.
That's great.
And I want to sell more, but that takes time.
Is it
I'm
print
looking
on
for the
demand?
audio version.
Do what, Steve?
Are you going through their print on demand service, or have you
Yeah.
sort of typeset it and stuff?
I did. I used all their software. The process
Okay.
is you use for the Kindle, you do it all one way, and for the print version you do it with a PDF, and you have to set
Right.
everything, choose your fonts, and all that stuff. They make it real easy, actually.
Right, but
In a lot of
they
respects.
print as people purchase.
Yes,
Look,
that's the print.
look
print
who's
on-
joined us. Look who's finally joined us. Good old Denver Steve-O. Hi, Steve.
Hey, Denver.
I was gonna ask Steve if he
Hi,
wants to come
Denver.
in, but he can come in if he
Denver,
wants. He has
Yeah.
he has the power.
Denver,
Yeah.
I actually got my microphone working today.
All right, here. Let
Yay.
me.
We look a little like the Brady Bunch.
We already do.
We are the Brady Bunch. What are you talking about?
We're
Yes,
better than
Steve,
Okay,
you feel like
maybe
it, huh?
Hollywood stars. I don't know.
We're the SP
Hollywood
bunch.
Squares.
We've got to do that. SPTV squares.
Oh wow.
That'd be great.
I'm not a big trivia person, so that's gonna be rough.
Well, what we
Don't
do is
pick
we
me.
It would be
Hey,
fun.
well,
hey, we're-
what we do is we make Aaron and Mark, or maybe Mike and Mark, the contestants, and then we make up these ridiculous answers to questions asked by Aaron Smith-Levin.
Oh my god. That's too funny.
He said he would do it. He's just been slacking.
Well, you know, they've got a whole in the Discord channel in Michelle's, they got a whole section that has questions.
Yes.
You know, a whole section. Yeah, it's, you know, if we could save the world, starting by me killing off my dogs if they don't shut up. Anyway, oh, I know why they're barking. Dad's home. Daddy's home, so that's what's going on. But anyway, if we could all do our little part to save the world, it would be a much better place. But it, you know,
Yes, thank you.
and to be really honest, is that if SPTV, and I believe it will, if it gets its goal of having Scientology lose its tax exempt status, having basically killing off the beast that is current Scientology, you know, this same community could still join together and affect those changes that we were talking about earlier. We are
One way or another.
Legion. Yeah, we
Yeah.
are
We
Legion.
are Legion.
In all honesty, I
Yeah,
think
Legion.
that we are creating a better world. Everybody's channel is different. Everybody has different niches, different things that, you know, they light up about. And we are individually all trying to make the world a little bit better. We're doing the things that we can do as we go. You know, if I could buy all of the empty buildings or feed all of the people, wouldn't we all? You know, we can do what we can do as we go.
There's
Yeah,
so
yeah,
many
definitely.
former Scientologists out here, and if we all had amnesty, can you imagine if Scientology was suddenly a democracy, how many votes there would be with all the former Scientologists voting to
Would an
make
amnesty bring
changes?
everyone back in?
It could. It could. So if we threw out David Miscavige and had nice people like Rosemary, you know, give an amnesty to, you know, because there's still people in Scientology that are
Hi,
like
Brandy.
Rosemary,
Hi,
you know,
Brandy.
and
Now,
if
Brandy.
they were to take over management, then, you know, they could declare a full amnesty for all former Scientologists, including ones that all they ever did was buy a Dianetics book. And then if they formed a true democracy and decided to vote to make all of those empty buildings become useful to the communities, I mean, and then if SPTV had a hand in other religions and various fraternal organizations that have empty buildings to start doing a contest against Scientology to fill up those empty buildings and start doing good stuff. I mean, you know, we put a man on the moon in just a very short amount of time. How long, if all these empty buildings were put to good use, how long would it take us to actually fix things? I mean, it could be done worldwide. Why not?
Yeah. You know, yeah, I mean, you know, but we all have to get involved, and that's kind of the issue, is getting people involved. You know, we're all involved and we're all watching this, and it's all, you know, cool to be part of it. And it's interesting to listen to the stories like you have and the others have. But how many of us are truly involved? How many
I
of
think
us are willing to get up off the sofa and go out and do something about it? That becomes the issue.
Well, the first thing is, how many of you sitting here, first
Yeah,
of
very
all,
true.
it takes a lot of guts to get in front of a camera like this.
Yeah.
And are you guys willing to write up a knowledge report and send it in? And
I would
then
have to know how it's done
well,
because
go
I've
to my
never seen
website
one.
because I
Yeah.
have a
Yeah,
tutorial
exactly.
right there. I have 2 tutorials
Okay.
to help you do that. And you know enough
I don't.
about the Scientology sins that you could write up, any of them. Write up about
I don't.
Rosemary, write up about write up about what we know happened to Mark and Claire, write up write up about how the cadet org abused children, anything, that
The stuff that Serge talks about is literally heartbreaking.
yes,
Just that stuff is
yes,
incredible.
making children do sex checks on adults is creepy. It's
It's
so
so creepy.
creepy.
Oh, so
It's
creepy.
criminal.
Yeah,
I know.
oh, it's icky, and it's
Sorry.
so improper. So yeah, if we just all started up writing knowledge reports and then hold on to your copy, because then we'll find websites and we could just start publishing them. Let the whole world
Like the
know.
opposite of the hate websites that are up that Scientology has put up for those people now.
No,
A
we
I
just
love the
speak
rebuttal.
truth.
website.
Just speak
Well,
truth.
yeah. Again, speak truth, but it's still a rebuttal to those websites that Scientology has put up against Claire and Mark and Mike
Aaron,
and Leah
yeah,
and Aaron and all those people. It's still a rebuttal, tell the story as we see it. I can
yes,
see that, as a
yeah,
rebuttal to those, and
yes.
I wouldn't have any problem doing
We'll,
that.
And they're easy
will
to
sending
write
in
too. They're really
will
easy
sending
to
in all
write.
these KRs do any good though? Or will they just get junked?
Well,
I
it's
don't
just
know
like
who
what we're
listened to
doing
them.
by creating all these channels. It's going to keep them busy. And we
Yeah.
don't even have to
Okay.
use our own names. Like you could literally write down in the name section Elvis Presley, and then you could look up the address of Graceland and put down that address. And then you could just make up a bogus email and then write down from the heart in the bulk of your knowledge report that you are not in agreement with, David Miscavige buying $400 shirts while his staff are eating beans and rice,
Living in
just pick,
squalor.
yeah, and living in squalor. You don't have to put a lot into it. Just keep the knowledge reports short and to the point, but write a lot of them. And
Well, I think the other side of that is that you need to make it public so that, someplace to put those kinds of things
yes,
so that
keep a
it's not
copy.
hidden under the cloak
Yes,
of
I agree.
Scientology darkless. So
I
it
agree.
needs
And
to go into a database.
somebody could put up a website and we could just like all add it to the website. Maybe right now we could just upload them to Leah Remini's Aftermath on Facebook. But somebody somebody could take charge of the website. I put up a tutorial on how to write them.
I
And
agree
I
with Mary there.
encourage every single viewer of SPTV to start writing knowledge reports and write a lot of them. If after you watch somebody's story on SPTV and you're feeling helpless and you want to do something, pull up a knowledge report and write it. And if you want, use your own name and contact information. It's
Also,
up to you. Or
Hey,
I don't
just
want
hey,
on their
hey,
mailing
hey,
list.
Hey, I
be
gotta
Mickey
duck out for a
Mouse.
minute. I got a dog barking at me. I gotta duck out for a little bit.
All right.
Okay, you can
Thanks,
leave your stream
Brian.
on if you want, Poet.
hi,
I will.
Chloe.
Okay.
Yeah, you can hold
Hello,
it.
Brandy.
What I was going to say as well.
Yeah,
is,
let's. Oh, after you're done, let Brandy talk.
Go ahead, Brandy.
I was just going to say that before I
Yeah, go ahead, Claire, because you haven't
No,
said
I
much.
was just going to say that before I came on, I was watching Aaron's stream that was on before this went live, and he was reading an open letter that Rosemary had sent. I think to get David Miscavige himself or Tom Cruise. I
She
didn't
sent one
hear
to
because
Tom
then I was
Cruise and
coming
one
on.
to
I didn't
David
hear the end.
Miscavige.
But yeah, she like really goes into him about sort of everything. So I sort of kind of just so that everyone knew that was going on to sort of watch that kind of after this stream, because he was getting very choked up. So it sounds like it sort of has a lot of heavy truth in it.
That
There's a
story
lot of
with
really
Rosemary
good
is
people
tragic.
like Rosemary that could take over the church. It's very possible.
Yeah. So, Brandy, you want to join the conversation? What do you think?
I am just getting here. I've been napping, still in my recovery phase.
I hear you. Well, thoughts and prayers are with you, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate you joining us.
Yeah.
Yes.
The
You get a
Rosemary
hug.
story is tragic, but I'm so happy that it ended so positively. Like, it's a wonderful ending to a train wreck.
I don't think that that's Rosemary's ending. I think that's Rosemary's beginning.
That is
I
true.
really do.
Well, it's fine. It's the end of a chapter in her life.
I think that it's her awakening is what it is. She could definitely be a strong leader for, isn't it called reclamation when a church changes direction? I think it might. Reformation,
But
yeah.
I don't get the reason why it needs to change direction. Why can't it just stop? Sort
because
of like,
it's rich.
I don't.
It's rich.
Get like when people sort of talk about it carrying on. Like, I don't get why. What does it do as an organization that is so important that it carries on?
Drains bank accounts.
That's my personal.
It has money and it has
I
assets.
agree.
I'm not saying that we should continue Scientology in its current format. I'm saying we should, have a complete reformation and change its whole goals. Use that money to actually help real people.
Well,
not
the
just
problem
sit in
is
a bank.
you can't change
Well, I think
Hubbard's
it should go
writings
back
because
towards
Hubbard's writings are
the
considered
debt it's
scripture.
created. But...
If we had enough people that went back into Scientology, the former ones, we could all vote that we grow. Because the problem with sticking to L. Ron Hubbard's stuff is it's all stuck in the 1950s or 60s, and it didn't grow.
Well, here's the question I have. What do you?
Of the church, is it not?
What?
What do you mean it can't be changed?
Well, because
David Miscavige has obviously changed it quite a bit.
Yes.
He's not supposed to.
He's not supposed to, but it can change because he's been changing it. So why not have a democracy of good people, former Scientologists and the Rosemarys of the world that are still in there, change it to actually address the problems that we have today? Why not?
But I think they just want to go home and sleep and eat properly. I don't think they've got any.
Yes, I do agree that they
it.
need
It's
sleep
just about
and
them
they
actually
need
getting alive.
I
agree. The Sea Org should be working 8-hour days under a union contract. Who else agrees?
Yes. I've been screaming unionize the Sea Org forever. Yeah.
It's
true.
a business.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get my
honestly,
I'll be back.
Okay.
If they changed their purpose and if they weren't always tired and hungry, it wouldn't be a bad gig if they would refocus on actually doing good works. Right now, they're just doing
Well,
busy work
Catholic,
and being micromanaged.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah,
it
but
wouldn't be a
like,
bad gig as long as they were getting paid and getting
Medical,
their food and their medical and all
proper
those things.
medical and sleep,
Sorry,
of
Stephen, go
course.
ahead.
yeah.
And
Well, when
vacation.
you look at the Roman Catholic Church, and I'm not making a judgment one way or the other on the actual theology or basis of the Catholic Church. I'm talking about the structure of the organization. When you become a priest, if you join a order, like say the Jesuits, you take a vow of perpetual poverty, and that way the church provides all your necessities of life for the rest of your life. That's the underlying sound of that sounds like underlying what the Sea Org wants you to do. The difference is the Catholic Church does it right. They take care of everything for you. The Sea Org basically leaves you destitute, and then creates credit cards in your own name and drains them,
which is totally criminal. Yes.
Well, that's an absolute. That's credit card fraud, and that's identity theft. But that's that's the whole. That's the point. If the Sea Org, if the Sea Org was set up like say the Jesuits or the other Catholic orders, the Jesuits. I'm just using that one because that's what I know. It would be a lot better for everyone. And Chad, you wouldn't need a union in that case.
No union.
Don't get me started.
I do union work, so I like unions.
You know, we could shoot for the union, and then we could accept the situation like the Jesuits
I don't get what people have against good benefits and good health care, but that's just my.
I have nothing against.
We'll talk about it some other time, Chad.
All right, I know it's too political, I guess.
It's on topic, right?
It's okay.
I'm against the railway workers going on strike. That's all.
Well, I'm in Sweden, and so you can guess. Maybe.
No one. Everyone's entitled to their opinions. Only Chad's opinions are right, of course. But
of course.
Hey, Chad, if you disagree with anything I say, you are wrong.
I know. No, there's no hard feelings. Everyone has.
There was some guys on strike the other week, and they were having barbecues on the street. It's so funny.
Oh wow. Yeah, they do that here purposely in front of PETA places or PETA booths. They'll throw up a barbecue just to annoy them.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, this is a good comment from Steve. Steve says the International Religious Workers of 666.
That's hilarious.
What does it say? The International Religious Workers Union 666. Oh, I like that.
That's funny.
That's good.
That's funny.
It's taking care of both of us because I'm in the process of getting a root canal, 2-step process.
Someone has a TV going.
What?
Somebody's got a background stream going.
Fix it. Or maybe that's family leader.
I think it's Jonas.
I fixed it.
I still got it.
Infection is so bad you couldn't get to the final.
Somebody got something in the background running?
Not me. I fixed mine.
It's quiet.
Not me.
Yeah, if anyone has a TV going or something, maybe turn it down.
Someone's got the TV on.
Or something. Anyway.
Is it Brandy? Brandy, you got
the team wishes you hello and it says a speedy recovery. I'm pretty sure I got those backwards.
Well, that's, I hope everybody, whoever it is, have a speedy recovery as well. But anyway, I think there's a lot of things that could be done. There's a lot of things that if the world was a better place, this wouldn't be a discussion.
People were
and if people were not greedy assholes, we'd all be singing Kumbaya,
Well, let's sing Kumbaya. I mean, why not? I mean, there's more us than there are of them. We can have a
Hello,
revolution.
Marilyn.
Okay, Jack.
Yeah.
Right.
There
Hey, Marilyn.
There needs to be some sort of something that we do that happens once once you get rid of Scientology, or at least turn it in the direction that it initially maybe wasn't LRH's idea, but what they said it was.
Yes. You know what was sold to
I think
us originally?
Yeah.
I
We're
think it's
close.
Yoni Cummings'
Marilyn, come and watch on my
little
channel.
demon who's giving off the sound.
Or it's a beat. You mean a body titan?
Yeah, don't you see?
She's got little Davy from the Navy in
Yeah.
that great pants.
Holding him hostage.
I'm waiting for mine.
Yeah, you gotta, John Frostowski posted a picture of his on one of the Facebook groups. It's got pins all in it.
Oh Lord.
That's funny.
That's
I'm
good.
working on getting pins for him.
Yeah, that's why I was looking forward to putting my dressmaker's pins in mine. I might just make my own.
I'll just
Mine's
give it to
okay.
Ozzy.
Shout out. Can people come and watch on my channel, please?
Well, it
I'm
might
an
be
ethical
more
sailor,
effective to write up
if you don't
knowledge
mind.
reports and look and think of them as pins that go
I
into
told
David
you I was
Missappin.
holding Davy
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's ready.
So, hey, folks, I gotta go eat, so I'm gonna jump off. And thank you for
Alrighty.
having me on. I've
It was enjoyable.
really
Thank you for
enjoyed the
coming.
discourse.
Have a good one.
Yes.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, everybody, and go check out my How to Write a Knowledge Report. Bye.
Okay,
Excellent.
Ralph.
Will do.
I'm
Okay.
gonna pop out too, guys.
Yeah, so we have less than 20 minutes maximum, guys. So, if anyone wants to go around the room and plug their channels and tell everyone about their great channels, it'd be great.
I usually
Cool,
start
who's
it, so
going
I'm going to
first?
sit in the back and wait.
Who's knocking? Where's that knocking coming from?
Not me.
I don't know.
I
Okay,
don't
me-
know. I was hearing that.
Yeah,
Might be
Well,
me.
I'll go first
Okay, go ahead, Claire.
because Witness is already promoting our show tomorrow. So I'm the ethical tailor. I have 51 wonderful subscribers at the moment, so please join our club. It's not a cult; it's a club. And I'm going to be doing
I'll call
a
it a
stream
cult.
tomorrow evening. It's on at 8 p.m. UK time, which I think is like
It's
3 p.m. in Clearwater. I'm not 100%.
Yes,
2
3.
or 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. Wonderful. Thank you for it. Yeah, so we're going to be. So tomorrow is like a brand new series. So me and Witness doing a collab with it. And it's called The Dark Side of Fashion. So tomorrow I'm going to be focusing on garment workers and sort of the truth behind your garments, basically. It's kind of going to be like a prelim video, and we can sort of go into it a lot more, but it's going to be a series that sort of goes into basically anything behind your garment, lawsuits that's happening in fashion, and anything culty that I kind of want to throw in there. And then on Thursday, I've got a stream with Joe. Can you actually hear me over it?
Yeah, anyone. If anyone thinks that that's maybe mute yourself.
So on Thursday, I've got a stream at the same time with Joe DeSupo. No, sorry, I just realised I said that really wrong. DeSupo. And she's going to be coming in for my clothing love stories, and we're going to be talking about her outfit on the day and her sort of clothes of choice and things like that, and wherever else we go. So please come and check me out. Thank you.
Awesome.
Great.
I guess if we're going diagonally, I'll go next. Okay, sub to me. It's from a poet, something or other. I don't know the exact numbers. The things I got going on right now, of course, author copies. Claire, I put my buy me a coffee link in the private chat if you want to put that in there or whatever. They got 5.
Yeah, I
for
put that
sale
in mine, so I'm going to put it in again.
Okay, so I got 5 for sale at the moment. Just and unfortunately restricted to the continental United States or the 50 states. That's about it. Oh yeah, the SPTV anthology. I'm getting a couple submissions. Chad, I want Jay Leno Smurf.
All right, I got to go to the library and use the scanner then.
And I might put one of your palm trees on the cover. I think it would be appropriate.
Cool. All right, I will make sure I do. Unless something crazy happens, I'll do it tomorrow. I've been sketching all day here.
So, just to submit poetry, your recipes in, waiting on those, and stuff like that.
They're easy.
Yeah, I just want I want to put together, because like I told Liz Ferris the other day when I was on with her, this is such an empathetic, artistic community, and if we can show that, and the it's another way to get it out there, to get the message out there, and the only criteria, you just got to be an SBTV watcher. And I'm encouraging any especially ex-Scientologists to to submit to me, and I'll whatever, I'll do a little editing or whatever. Just I want to put together something 200 to 300 pages, and if I have to extend the deadline for submissions, I'll extend the deadline or whatever. It's I want it to be a work of art, an expression of the artistic mentality of this community. And I hope all of y'all participate.
Which date is the deadline?
It's a floating deadline right now, the end of the month. But if I don't get enough submissions, I'll just extend it out. So tentative deadline, the end of the month. That's 3 weeks. 2.5 weeks or so. I'm probably going to extend it out further, probably till the end of the year. So, if you need the criteria, go to Amazon, and on Relatable Reese's Facebook page, on my
I don't have Facebook.
My YouTube page, I put the criteria on the community page on my YouTube channel. You send it to FromAPoetPress@gmail.com. That's the email, real easy, From a Poet Press, so.
Okay.
And
I'll get those out to you.
That's about it.
Can you go over really quickly what you're looking for?
Poetry, short stories, essays, art, photography, recipes, something creative. Poetry up to 5 poems.
Any specific theme?
No, the only theme is you have to be an SPTV watcher. You can be creators. It's for the community. So, like Chow Young Smut, she sent me some photographs of that are really cool of the free winds. I'm going to put that in there. Cassie Isaacs got some photography of the stars that she put on Facebook. I want those. She's going to send those to me. So it's just anything, and the I would prefer to attribute it to your handle in the chat, like Chow Yun Smut. I'm going to attribute it to her in the table of contents and all that stuff. So the theme is the community.
Gotcha. That's cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And it's a fundraiser for the Aftermath Foundation.
Awesome.
Cool. I'm going to look that up, Poet, because I think I've got something to share with you.
Cool. Just send it to me, Steve. I look forward to reading it.
Okay.
Awesome.
It's fine. Can I go? Are you?
Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
I'm done.
You're done? Okay.
Yeah, I'm done.
All right. I may as well jump in because we sort of went diagonal across top right to bottom left, and we may as well go up one now.
Yeah.
So my channel is there. I am at the real Stephen Britton, just like it sounds, and I haven't really had a chance to get any new stuff up there lately. I'm working on getting something up there. But life has kind of gotten in the way. there is a bunch of older stuff on there. Mainly, my channel is going to focus on political stuff more than anything. Though I may delve into some SPTV stuff now and again. And anyone who wants to go over there and check me out, I'm going to warn you right now, I am slightly to the right of Attila the Hun. So just be aware of that. You've never heard that one before, have you? Anyway, so, but one of the there is the most recent video that's on there is actually one about how someone tried to blackmail me once, which is more of a humorous story than anything else. That's probably the most recent one that's of any interest on there. But you're more than welcome to go over there, and as soon as I get the next one finally in the can and done, then that'll drop as well. And the subject of that one is going to be debunking a debunker of a debunk of climate change.
Gotcha.
What was that? That was not me.
Wow.
That whatever that crash was not me.
Is everything all right? I'm worried about his driving.
Might have been my dogs. Who knows? You know.
That did sound like four legs going real fast.
Yeah. So my channel is just once again.
Glad it's not you.
At the real Stephen Britton, and Terry Ray just put it up on the in the chat. I see.
Oh yeah, let me
Awesome.
grab that.
Very good.
Very good.
There's me done.
Whoever's next.
Who wants to go next, guys?
I can go next.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm just. Oh, did somebody else want to go?
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I'm just Tiff, and my channel talks about autoimmune and chronic illness and depression and anxiety and all that stuff. And I gear my channel, and I also have two Facebook support groups, and those both are kind of geared towards having a friend in your pocket while doing hard things. And so we're pretty supportive of each other over there, and I'm excited to continue having some of you guys from this community over and sharing some things. And also, when I have Joni coming on, we're gonna tell her story of her life in Mormonism. So yeah, that'll be kind of exciting. And so anybody is welcome. And it's pretty laid back, and we just have a good time over there. And there I am right there. Thank you, Terry Ray.
Very good.
Thanks.
Not that expensive. They're only like $2.
Yes.
Sorry, give me a minute, sons. Or
That's okay. Yeah, go ahead, Joni.
Okay, mine's Joni Cummings, 3465. I'm just starting out and telling my stories. Some of you heard we spend an hour and a half explaining it, but I'm starting to break down in smaller segments about my whole life. Being abused as a child, and then being baptized into a church I didn't believe in, Mormonism, and how I'm walking away, but I'm still in great standing with the Mormon church. So, yeah, that's why I say Scientology, I can't be touched. Come after me, I'll have the Mormon church after your ass.
Nice. So let's hear that church. Joni put you on notice.
alrighty. I'm guessing I'm next.
Yep,
I have a couple of things going on. I have Sinfully Good, which has been the channel that I've been working, doing. It is sitting at right now. Hang on, let me look. 286 subscribers, and I went to the wrong place. Hang on. And I'm looking at watch hours wise. I'm looking at 593.9 watch hours on Sinfully Good, which I'm really excited about as how it's grown. However, I've also launched a sister channel called Sinfully Low Carb, And basically what it is it's part of my journey, trying to control my blood sugars and hopefully help others who have chronic health issues that involve diet, to get some really good recipes that honest to God, you will not believe are diet food. They don't taste like it. They don't act like it. I have gone and reworked a lot of old family recipes and people's usual favorites and made them into a low carb. Best example I have, we make tortilla soup every year at the beginning of soup season. And I did a tortilla soup for the Sinfully Good channel, and it's pretty much the same recipe, just a few different things that I got on the Sinfully Low Carb Mexican chicken soup. So, if you guys are at all interested, head on over to Sinfully Low Carb. Julie has graciously put up the link for it. Thank you so much. And let's get a little bit more healthy and have some of us who might need a little help in that area. I've got you covered, guys, and I promise you will love it. So anyway, that's about it. I do have a Food Talk Friday. I do that every week. As of yet, I have something up, but something has just popped up that I may change the topic on that. So I'll have to see. I'm waiting on an email. So anyway, that's pretty much it going on here. Help me grow that channel. I'm getting very close to the first tier of monetization on Sinfully Good. So I'm looking forward to that and getting pretty excited. Thank you, Scientology Clips. I appreciate it.
You can always tell what country I'm in.
Tim,
I was going to say, where did that cow come from?
Well,
Tim Hortons.
Yep, that's it.
It's exactly as if I'm the only one that heard that move.
That's funny. Anyway, I've had a great time. I don't know if we're wrapping up. Is that what we're doing, Chad? Make sure you.
I gotta go too.
Yeah, who else?
I gotta drop out too.
Yeah, Chad.
Yeah, Brandy. Let's let Brandy plug her channel, guys.
Sure.
Okay, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. I'm Brandy. My channel is Christ Anxiety, and I go over just anything that's anxiety related, anything Scientology, Christian related, anything really mental or even physical wise that you may want to talk or vent or what have you. My channel is just a safe place to come and chill and talk and vent, and I've had several on. Y'all can go look. Me and Marilyn's had videos. Me and Tiff's have videos. I plan on definitely doing more, but as everybody knows, I am recovering from surgery right now, so it may be just a little bit from getting more content up.
Well, take your time.
All good. We're all here for each other.
Yep, and just so everyone knows, I'm doing an interview tomorrow with a real ex-Sea Org member. Her name is Rebecca. It'll be at 10 a.m. Clearwater time.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to tune into that.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Okay, everyone, I'm going to drop out now.
All right,
see you later, everyone.
And we've been trying to get to this one comment before we go. This is called the pre-show, and I think we already kind of covered it, but for anyone that missed it, it's because Levin Smith used to go on a 7 with Mark and Mike, and that show, they do their own thing now, but we're going to keep the show because they broke their contract to us. They should always go on at 7 o'clock. And it's just a good time to do it, right?
Yeah, I figure they'll do something here pretty soon.
Yeah, someone usually goes. They usually go on at 7 anyways, but it's just not as. It's not really.
I think Reese might be going on.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, there ain't no telling.
Yesterday she'd be doing her own one. But anyway, I'm really excited for your interview tomorrow, Chad.
Oh,
yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
Thanks, everyone.
I'll be there.
Deviant, I'll send you the criteria.
Yeah, please do. Please do. That was the email I was.
Yeah, I'll email it to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I'm looking forward to everything everybody has coming up.
Yes.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
I enjoyed. This was a big chat. It was very informative. It was a very in-depth chat. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Me too.
Good.
I think I came off a bit agitated to begin with, but
Yeah,
that
you're
wasn't
good.
really my
You're good.
intention.
You're fine.
You're fine.
Yeah,
You're
I
fine.
think nice.
You're fine.
Hey, look, there's room for
There's
me now.
Julie.
Hey! she
Rihanna.
I was
drops in right
disappointed
at
when
the
there was.
end.
I
I
thought
don't
we
even
could
have
have
the
12
headphones.
in.
No,
That's
Julie,
okay.
why?
That's okay. My one of
Hey.
my earbuds just fell on the floor. At least it didn't fall in the trash this time.
I just have something
We
very
did that
important to
last
say
week.
before you
Oh
guys
yeah, go
go.
ahead, Julie.
Okay.
Whoa.
She's
From
plugging
the
in.
bottom
Hang on.
of my heart, when you're not speaking, please mute your mics. Because with these many people, I tell you, I
It's hard.
came back here. I was muting everybody. I'm sorry if I muted you. I'm sorry
It's okay.
if I made
You're
your
fine.
life harder. But I was just trying because it was hard to hear what people were saying because there was
Mhm.
noise in the background. So
A lot
just
of noise. Yeah.
it's just something that.
No, that's a great point.
love.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah.
I
Roger that.
apologize, Miss Julie.
Hi, Julie.
Oh no, it's
So-
not me. I'm
Trouble is,
just
the eyes
walking
are
there.
talking whilst I'm muted. And then
Yeah,
I
it will
forget.
help with this many people for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would help. A lot of people. Anyway, thank you guys for having me.
Bye, everybody.
Thank
We'll do
you.
this
Thanks,
again
everyone.
next week.
Yep.
Much love. Much love. Take care.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
I had the hardest time
Bye.
doing this. Much love. Much love.
Much love to everybody. Bye.
Take care.
Bye, everyone. All right, that's it, guys.